Hi, my name is Djimo and I'm the founder of Silvi. So what inspired me to start Silvi? Well, I think there's three main areas we need to focus on to address the environmental collapse. One of it is education and culture. Over the last 6 or so years, I've been working on education, building regenerative science curriculum. The other two are one, stopping the destruction, and I think that involves completely innovating the way the big monocrop uh, agriculture commodities are grown, the soy, corn, wheat, rice. And I'm working on a few ideas there, but the other one is really reversing that destruction. And so the biggest contribution that we can make is to plant 1 trillion trees globally and make up for a lot of the biodiversity loss. And so that's where Silvi protocol is really building solutions to accelerate the funding, the transparency, and the way to assess impact on the ground. So what's been the biggest challenge as a founder? Well, I think launching a company right as the bear market is starting is very tough. Fundraising, not or at least not having fundraised, is pretty difficult, and to still lead a team of 7. So super grateful for the 9 or so grants that we've received so far. At the same time, not having a ton of money means we're frugal and very focused, and the recognition from all these grants are a signal that we're building important and relevant tools for the space. What's my favorite place or country? Well, I don't have a favorite. There's this island called Inyaka that I love in Mozambique, but I would say that all of southern Africa is just beautiful, from the red dunes in Namibia to the mountains in South Africa, the desert in Angola, and the river deltas, the Okavango Delta, for instance, in Botswana, and then the forests, and even like the Caribbean-like beaches in Mozambique. That entire southern portion of Africa is just magical. What book has had the most impact? Well, I took a few notes. I have a few notable mentions here. Sapiens, one of my favorite, just a cool anthropological view on mankind. Ministry of the Future, I think, is very optimistic and forward-looking and very high-tech and sci-fi, and I love that. Spiritual Ecology is also a must-read for any regen, any refi nerd working in the space. But I think one of my favorites is called Teaming, and how superorganisms work together to build infinite wealth. And I think this is also very reflective of the architecture that Celo is building, Celo's stables, and how it's really spreading its protocol around the world. What are top priorities for the organization in the coming year? Well, I think we have a super clear roadmap. We're very clear on what we want to build and what we need to build. We haven't fully delivered on that roadmap. So one of the big priorities over the next year is to just continue building on that. There's still a few smart contracts remaining. There's some functionality on our methodologies. The app still has a lot of UI missing. So we really just want to completely finish that roadmap that's clear right now. Along with that, I think increased adoption of the Silvi protocol is very welcome. We have a lot of partnerships in the making, and we just want to scale from a very, very early stage adoption into a more meaningful adoption. And through that lens, one of the big priorities would also be to integrate this adoption to an existing carbon project. So not completely starting from scratch and experimenting with smallholder farmers, but to integrate what we've developed already in an existing funded carbon project. What roles do mentorship play in my entrepreneurial journey? I would say a ton, not just with Silvi, but with my previous startups as well. I think mentors are super useful. I don't see mentors as a lifelong relationship always. I think mentorships come and go, but there's usually a right mentor for the right occasion. And yeah, there's so many people that I'm grateful for having mentored me, opening doors, making connections, enlightening me with information. So thank you so much if you're one of those. Cheers.